You'll notice that even within the adhkar of morning and evening, there's a dua that you're asking Allah. اللهم إنا نسألك العفو والعافية في الدنيا والآخرة. اللهم إني أسألك العفو والعافية في ديني ودنياي وأهلي ومالي. You're asking Allah for afwa and afiyah. What does that mean? It's forgiveness and safety and ease. Afiyah is a very big term. The Prophet ﷺ told us to ask for this. And it's essentially safety and ease. We have this weird kind of thinking that sometimes we think the harder something is, the better, right? If you want to be religious, you gotta suffer, you know? And if you have like a two choices in the deen, always choose the harder one because that's just better. Where the Prophet ﷺ did the opposite. If he had two choices, he would choose the easier one. And he told us to ask for ease. He told one of the companions, he advised him after every single salah, Allahumma a'inni ala dhikrika wa shukrika wa husn ibadatik. This is something we're told to say after every salah. Allahumma a'inni ala dhikrika wa shukrika wa husn ibadatik. Oh Allah, make it easy for me. Make it easy for me for these three things. Dhikrika, your remembrance. Your gratitude, thankfulness to you, and the best of your worship. We are asking for ease, and we are told to ask for ease. I will tell you one of the mistakes that people make also, and this is a bit subtle, is instead of asking for ease, people only ask for sabr. This is deep, okay? People only ask for sabr instead of asking also for ease. So, for example, something difficult has befallen them. Something's hit them. A calamity has struck them. Right? So a lot of people will ask, Ya Allah, give me the ability to bear this. Great. So then it continues. Give me the ability to bear this. And even give me sabr. Can I tell you what sabr is? Sabr is like a spiritual muscle. Okay? If you go to a personal trainer and you say, yo, personal trainer, make me strong. What do you think they're going to do? Are they going to take off the weight or put it on? You get it? See, the process of building spiritual muscle isn't easy. You know? It's basically like you're asking God, make me an Olympic athlete who can carry 500 pounds. Well, guess how you get there. You know what I'm saying? There's a process to get there. But you know what? You can ask for something else. You can actually ask for ease. You can ask that the weight is taken off. And that doesn't mean you're failing the test. Every prophet asked for help. Every prophet asked for help. Nuh alayhi salam, 950 years. You know, we do something for 950 minutes, we give up. Right? These people are crazy. You know what I'm saying? They were crazy. They weren't listening to him. They're plugging their ears. They're just mocking him. Not for 950 minutes, hours, days, but this is years. And after all of that, he calls out to Allah, Anni maghlubun fantasir. He said, I am overtaken. Give me victory. Help me. La ilaha illa anta subhanaka inni kuntu min al-zalimin. Yunus alayhi salam. Study the du'as of the prophets and they are like mind-blowing. They're so powerful, but they're all asking for help. They never said, I got this. I'm a tough guy. I can handle it. You know what I mean? But we do that. We think we can handle it on our own. And even when we ask Allah, we're not asking for ease and help. We're asking, Ya Allah, just make me strong. But that's the thing. Yes, Allah can make you strong. Guess what? But the process of being strong is difficult. And it's okay to ask Allah for ease. Because you know what? There is nothing, absolutely nothing wrong with you. In fact, we're supposed to humble ourselves and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to open for us and to give us ease. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَبَشِّرِ الصَّابِرِينَ الَّذِينَ إِذَا أَصَابَتْهُمْ مُصِيبَةٌ قَالُوا إِنَّا لِلَّهِ وَإِنَّا إِلَيْهِ رَاجِعُونَ. They respond in this way of, indeed we belong to Allah and to Allah we return. Now this is a very, very difficult thing to do. And it's easy to talk about it while we're sitting, but how do we actually translate it into action? That when we are facing things in our lives, that we respond properly to them. I'll tell you what it is. Have any of you ever run a marathon? Do you know anyone who's ever run a marathon? Perhaps. Okay. Did that person who ran the marathon wake up one day and say, I want to run a marathon tomorrow, and we'll go and run a marathon? No. What did they have to do for months? Train. You have to train for months consistently to be able to even just get to the point where you can run a marathon, or even half a marathon for that matter. Okay? You have to train to be able to do that. Now, spiritually, it's the same thing. Responding to difficulty and being able to have the resilience to handle life, to handle what life throws at you, to handle the weather. You can't just wake up one day and say, oh, I'm going to be able to do this. It requires training. It requires training. And it's training that you have to do every single day. And it's spiritual training. You can't be in a marathon and be able to run it unless you've been training ahead of time. So when I gave you the example of the weather, how many of you know I've talked about this previously. How many of you know the story of the 3 little pigs? You had deprived childhoods, I'm sorry. The 3 little pigs, guys. So there's these 3 pigs. I know haram. It's haram to eat them, but we can talk about them. So 3 little pigs. The first pig is super lazy, right? Because he's lazy, he doesn't want to put in the effort and the time to build a strong home. So he makes his home out of straw. It was easy, quick, but it's very weak. The second one's also lazy, not quite as lazy. He makes his house out of twigs. Again, very weak. Then the third one puts in the time and the effort to build a strong foundation, to build a strong house out of brick. So what then happens? The big bad wolf comes around and he huffs and he puffs. Some of you had a childhood, alhamdulillah. Just kidding. Totally kidding, guys. He huffs and he puffs and he blows the first house down. Why? Because it was very weak. And then the second one comes, he comes to the second house, he huffs and he puffs and he blows the second one down. But then he gets to the third one and he does the same thing. He huffs and he puffs, but he can't blow it down. So here's what happens in life, right? We have various kinds of big bad wolves in our life. They come in different forms. Sometimes they're people in our lives. Sometimes it's political. We have, political leaders, huff and puff, right? Sometimes we have financial big bad wolves, health problems, whatever they are. They come and they huff and they puff and they try to blow our house down. And the question becomes, how strong is your house? Because we can't control the wolf sometimes, right? Just like you can't control the fog, and you can't control the rain, and you can't control the temperature. But what you can control is what you're wearing when it comes, what kind of shelter you have. What does it mean to build a solid foundation, a solid house out of brick? That thing that I gave you, that prescription I gave you, that 3 parts, everyone remember it? Every time you do that, that's daily training. Every time you do that, you're praying. Every time you pray, every time you do your adhkar, every time you read the Quran, you are putting a brick in your house. So now what happens is you've created a very solid house. And now when the big bad wolf comes, as he will, but in different forms, but he always comes. Yeah, shaitan also comes. Yeah, tests will come. Sometimes people, they play that role in our lives. They shake us. And when that happens, the one who built the solid house out of brick will not be destroyed by the big bad wolf. This is the reason we become destroyed by our hardships and our calamities and our tests. It's because we are in a house made of straw or out of twig. It's not solid, it's not strong. There isn't a strong foundation, and that's because we haven't done the training. You understand? We haven't built the house. Our house is weak and flimsy. And so any wind, any blow, and it just knocks it down. And then it destroys us internally. It destroys us mentally and psychologically and emotionally and spiritually. It destroys us. Allah and His Messenger gave us a prescription, but we just don't follow it, of how to do something amazing. And that is to be resilient. Actually, the human being has an amazing ability of resilience. If you look at some of people's lives, I know people, like, their lives, I can't even imagine the kinds of things that they've been through. But the amount of resilience that they've shown, to me, is miraculous. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the Quran, أَمْ حَسِبْتُمْ أَن تَدْخُلُوا الْجَنَّةَ وَلَمَّا يَأْتِكُمْ مَثَلُ الَّذِينَ خَلَوْا مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ مستهم البأساء والضراء وزلزلوا حتى يقول الرسول والذين آمنوا معه متى نصر الله. Do you think that you will enter paradise without going through that which those who came before you went through? They went through difficulty and adversity, and they were shaken. They were so shaken that even the messengers and those with the messengers were calling out and asking, when will the help of God come? Mata Nasrullah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ends this ayah by reminding us, Ala inna nasrullahi qareeb. Indeed, the help of Allah is near.
أشرقت نفسي بنور من فؤادي حينما رددت يا رب العباد وانتشت روحي